Today, we have a guest in our interview series who came to the UAE just 5 months ago. He works for Strohal Legal Group and his name is Paul Nimmerfall. Paul, welcome to our interview series.
Thank you so much for having me. Great to be here.
Paul, as we just mentioned, you came to the UAE just a short time ago. What did you before you came to the UAE?
So I'm an Austrian lawyer. So I studied law in Austria, in Vienna more specifically, and then worked for a couple of years in one of the big Austrian commercial law firms. It's called Schönherr. It has a main focus on Austria and the CEE region. And right before I came to the UAE, I did my bar exam and thought about a new adventure that I want to go for. And then I came here.
So you came here without a job and you were just looking for a job, or did you already have an offer from the Strohal Legal Group?
Oh, no, sure. Yeah, so basically the story and the background is that it's kind of a big coincidence, because if you would have asked me 2 or 3 years ago if I could imagine coming here, I would probably have said no. But my former boss at Schönherr, Jakob Kisser, came here and joined Strohal Legal 2 years ago. I visited him as a tourist that time, and that was the first time I really got involved. And from that time on, we were kind of discussing whether it could be interesting for me. Then discussions were going further and further, and the answer is no. I had a job interview. I actually signed the contract before coming here, and I came here to work for SOG.
So what was your first impression when you started to work here? I mean, you don't live in Dubai, you live in Ras Al Khaimah, I assume?
Yes. So first impression, well, it wasn't too surprising, because I was there 3 times before. So I did my, as a lawyer would say, due diligence on the job. So I basically knew what's happening. But then still, I mean, everything was quite overwhelming when you see so many new people, different work environment, different culture. I mean, of course, we mainly speak English, but with Arabic, you have a totally different language. So I would say overwhelming, of course, but not really surprising.
So as you are here for just a really short time, is there anything that comes to your mind that you would say that is really so different, I would not have expected it?
Well, the weather, of course, that's quite different. I mean, my plan was to join early summer, and if I would survive the summer months, that I could stay for longer. So, and the summer, I mean, that's the first summer I experienced here, but people told me that it was actually a mild summer. So I think I handled the temperatures quite well, but this is certainly something that is completely different. Also completely different is traffic. Freaks me out a little bit when I go to Dubai, and if you take the wrong exit at the motorway, then it's kind of a 15. So that's different as well. And I mean, different from Austria, but again, not really surprising, is that there are so many international people around. I mean, it's really a melting pot of different cultures, different nationalities. So I guess those 3 cornerstones were the most different parts, although I believe there's so much, so many other different things that are different to Austria, but this is what
from a working perspective, for example, from a working perspective.
Yeah, sure. From a working perspective, it's totally different, because I worked in a big international commercial law firm, and SLG, I mean, it's a boutique law firm also focusing on the same areas that I did before, but it's a much smaller law firm. So basically at the law firm I worked before, you have so many different people that take care of administrative stuff, that help you to prepare a PowerPoint presentation, that help you that the IT infrastructure is there. So all of those helpful people are not there anymore. So basically, whenever we need something, we need to take care about it ourselves. But this was also something I was kind of looking for because I wanted to have this experience. But that's certainly a major difference to my life in Austria before.
Mm-hmm. So we immersed already a little bit into your current company. Can you introduce the company to all of those who do not know Strohal Legal Group, and maybe also tell us what your exact role is over there?
Sure. So basically, I think most of the members of the ABC know Strohal Legal because Theodor Strohal was a founding member, as I understand. Basically, Strohal Legal Group (SLG) is an international commercial law firm focusing on business law and corporate law, mergers and acquisitions, and energy law. But we also try to being involved in emerging fields such as climate change law. Our main office is in the UAE here in Ras Al Khaimah, although we think about opening an office in Dubai rather soon. And the other offices are located in Singapore and Thailand. And due to the background of so many of our lawyers, we still have really close ties to Austria in particular, but also to other Central European countries.
Mm-hmm. And your specific role, what are you focusing on?
Sure. So my job title is called Senior Legal Counselor. So I'm working as a lawyer there. And as a lawyer, I think that the biggest responsibility is to provide good and accurate legal advice to the clients. But as this is kind of a more senior position, as I was doing before, of course, there are also different tasks like taking care of personnel, thinking about the firm's strategy. And so it's really much more than just providing legal advice, but I work closely together with Theodor Strohal, with Jakob Kisser, and basically that's my role.
Mm-hmm. So imagine we have a business council meeting, somebody sees you, says, "Hi, Paul, nice to meet you. What kind of specific services would you be able to offer to this person?"
So as I mentioned, I mean, we are lawyers, so overall the answer, I guess, is legal advice. And my particular focus is on the corporate M&A. I did that for a while in Austria. And my specialty, if you wish, is renewable energy law and climate change law. So any person in ABC that has an interest in those areas or that needs legal advice or needs help can contact me anytime, and I'm happy to either have a discussion or actually provide advice on the topic or the industry. Maybe coming back to one of your questions before, that's also kind of a difference that I need probably to mention. Here in the UAE, my feeling is that the work is much more market driven and industry focused. So in addition to providing legal advice, clients who come here from Europe to US or Asian countries, of course, they need advice on the local market and they need advice on how things are done here. So yeah, any question in those areas is highly welcomed, and I'm happy to having a discussion on this.
Mm-hmm. When you mentioned climate change and energy law, I had an association in my mind that says sustainability. Sustainability is one of the themes of the Expo 2021. Did you already visit the Expo?
Yes, I did. Well, I had not huge expectations, to be honest. And then I was really pleasantly surprised. It's such a cool place. And for me, it feels like a huge museum with a little exhibition for each country. So I have now, although it just opened in October, visited 3 times. And every time it was, such a great time there. So many cool and open-minded people.
Do you already have a favorite pavilion where you would say people should really go there?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of forced to say Austria now, but I hope you will excuse that that's only my second choice. So from the pavilions I see, surprisingly, Pakistan was fantastic. It was, for me, it was just the right mix between providing information, showing you beautiful pictures of the landscape and having really nice people there. So yeah, again, something I didn't really expect in the beginning, but yeah, Pakistan is the pavilion to go, I believe.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I would not have thought about this myself. But I think I will take this up, and during my next visit, I will definitely also go to the Pakistani pavilion. Paul, is there anything else that you would like to add at the end of this interview?
Not really. Like, I want to thank you for the invitation and also for everything you and the other board members are doing here for the Austrian community. So, especially for people who come here quite recently, it's really helpful to have you. And yeah, you gave me a very nice introduction last time. I met you the first time. So thank you for everything you do, and thank you for having me. But I guess nothing more to add from my side.
Paul, thank you much for the interview.